AM 560. The answer.
Fight will end. Only two ways, Mr. Speaker, that this fight will end. Either Republicans finally decide to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits this year, or the American people will throw Republicans out of their jobs next year.
Only the ones that want to be subsidized. Well, that's a lot of you, right? A lot of you have been voting for these thieves because you think you're getting ahead rather than focusing on how much you're getting scammed. 10%! 10% of our society uses over two-thirds of the health care dollars that are given. Boy, that seems a little crazy, doesn't it? Glenn, Orlando.
Hey, Sean, how you doing?
Good, brother.
So speaking of stealing, my favorite topic, Senator Brooke Rollins found 5,000 dead people collecting SNAP and another 500,000 people getting SNAP 2 times under the same name. Boy, do we have a big problem with stealing.
Do you think I don't know that? Come on, Glenn, you're talking to me.
And 20 plus others did not, and we're suing. We're in litigation right now. But of the 29 that complied, what we have found is staggering. 500,000 people getting benefits 2 times under the same name. 5,000 dead people. 80% of the able-bodied Americans, meaning they can work, they don't have small children at home, they're not taking care of an elderly parent, they can work and they choose not to work, of course, because they're getting significant benefits from the taxpayer. So,
you know what that's called, Glenn, in my neighborhood? Suck-ons. Bunch of suck-ons dragging around a lot of lambones.
And, Sean, that's only 21 states are refusing to give the data. What does that tell you?
That they're stealing money like Minnesota. Did you hear about the Minnesota scandal?
Oh, Minnesota, big-time Somalia, Mogadishu, North.
You kidding me?
Yeah,
and you notice it's offensive on so many levels. But what is happening, the level of fraud, it's basically everybody.
Since September 19th, officers from our Fraud Detection and National Security Directorate, working in teams, have conducted over 1,000 site visits across the Minneapolis-St. Paul area as part of this operation. What they found should shock all of America. Focusing on a list of over 1,000 target cases involving more than 900 individuals, our officers encountered blatant marriage fraud, visa overstays, people claiming to work at businesses that can't be found.
So who's going to be offended by this? Some suck-on? Some 30-year suck-on? Hasn't bought their groceries, hasn't paid their rent, hasn't paid for electricity or water, and gets their money from lying? Who's going to be offended by this? This is just making some scumbags nervous. The rest of them are jealous.
Documents, abuse of the H-1B visa system, abuse of the F-1 visas, and many other discrepancies. Over the course of the operation, our officers found indication of fraud, non-compliance, or public safety and national security concerns in nearly a little less than 50% of the cases interviewed. We found troubling patterns with the Uniting for Ukraine program that should have raised serious concerns under other administrations, such as an individual filing to sponsor more than 100 aliens, and organizations sponsoring hundreds. We are continuing.
Now, see, I was at the forefront, Squirrel. You remember this. I would always say the decent Ukrainian people have been begging for somebody to help them from their corrupt government. It was like in Chicago, where you're just slaves to the corruption. I personally think that we need legal immigrations. And when it comes to, well, he's really Estonia, which is not, it's a little complex, but very good people. Very, very good people. I can't get enough of these guys.
What I love about Texas is that you guys are like proud to be American. Because the first time I came to America, I went to Seattle. Very different vibe. I'm ready to get off the plane. I watched Saving Private Ryan back to back 3 times. I'm hyped. I'm ready to shoot somebody. Let's f***ing storm the Capitol and And then I get to Seattle, everybody walks around. Every I met had like green hair, such low blood pressure, Every conversation I had in Seattle, they were all like, America is built on a racist agenda. Who gives a f***? If you don't like America, go check out Ukraine. Try to get an oatmeal latte in downtown Kiev, you ungrateful. If your passport.
Yeah. Can't get enough of those guys. Ken, Lake Geneva.
Hey, I'm visiting. It's so great to hear you again. I just had to call in, and I wanted to get your opinion on something.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
All right. So there's nothing that backs up our currency. No silver, no gold, no assets. Just the attachment of a Federal Reserve. It's leveraged 90-1 on Wall Street, and then they use fractional banking reserves and offer credit to everybody. So the whole thing is a mountain, a house of cards. When does it collapse? When does everybody realize there's nothing backing it up? And what happens after that? I'm just curious.
This conversation that you and I are having is conversations that Americans have been having hard since 1971, and you could argue even harder since 1958. The Bretton Woods Agreement, we broke it. We broke it. The idea that we still pretend we didn't is a major problem. And the fact is, we're operating a functional bankruptcy. And that's the dirty little secret. They can never stop spending. Otherwise, you'd have to realize our GDP hasn't grown since 2005. And if you tried to back out spending into sectors that don't exist, like green energy, you're talking trillions of dollars, brother. So how does it work? How does it end?
Yeah.
I think that what you're seeing is very smart people like Scott Bessent understanding the problem, trying to explain it to people, and trying to thread a needle of stability. And ultimately what I think will happen is in the future that they will have to anchor it to a basket of goods. And that basket of goods will be very, very interesting. It will include precious metals. It will include oil. It will include natural gas. That's the only way you can stabilize the fraud that is a fiat currency. Otherwise, you just keep doing what we're doing, which is taxing the future through debt and getting used to it. But Ken, think about this. The entire conservative movement, the Reagan years, Goldwater, whatever, it was less than $1 trillion. Since Barack Obama, we've added 30. We are unmoored from any financial realities. So why can't it go on in perpetuity?
I know.
Yeah. Only me and you and the listeners care. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask one more question?
Shoot.
Okay, so if we're in debt and we're bankrupt, and in bankruptcy, liquidation process goes to the creditors, could all of these new contracts that are being announced through quote-unquote tariffs actually be settlements of bankruptcy court with the other governments that owned our country? We've been serving them since 1913.
I'm going to replay your question, but we're against the clock. I got to replay your question, and I will answer it at some point. Thank you very much for calling.